With support from the 26.2 Foundation and Hopkinton Center for the Arts, the Marathon Quilters Guild celebrated their 30th anniversary and created a beautiful display that depicts the many great scenes and towns of the Boston Marathon. Right now, here's the opening presentation of the 30th Anniversary Quilt Show.
So she's going to give you a little bit of information, and all I have to add is pretty much anything that Jean invites me to come along on, I will say yes to. And that's happened for the last close to 24 years that I've lived in town. And I've lived in town, raised kids with my husband here. And the things I've learned about Hopkinton are, it all starts here. The Kenyans are fast. And if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And for this situation, Jean could have gone fast. She could have made all of them. And she said, I want to go far. I'm going to invite people along on the ride. We didn't know who was going to join us. Just like we don't know who's going to join us every time we have a show. We say, this is what we're going to do, and they come. And the people come. And they lend their hands and their ideas and their creativity. And this is the 30th anniversary show. This is quite a spectacle. It's a collaboration, but it's an invitation. And so I'd like to invite you to come and see this, hear about how it was created, understand how it came from Jean's brain to be in front of you. And then she'll tell you that a typical quilt show involves no touching the quilts. That's right. No food and drink in here. And please tell all your friends to come back because we're going to be open Saturday and Sunday. So let me give this to Jean.
Thank you. And first, I have a lot of thank yous. So bear with me. But first, I really want to say thank you so much to Nancy, who was the co-chair of this show with me. Two of us went for a walk once too long ago and said, all right, nobody else wants to do it, we'll do it. And she ended up doing far more than her fair share, and I'm extremely grateful. I could not imagine having pulled all of this off without her, so thank you very much, Nancy. So this show is a lot of things. We're celebrating 30 years of our Quilt Guild, Marathon Quilters. Obviously, we're big fans because we named our Quilt Guild after the marathon. 130 years of the running of the Boston Marathon, and that's what this special exhibit is about, and also the 250th anniversary of our country. So you'll see that in a lot of the quilts as you wander around. So I wanted to, if I can see them, point out Michelle Banton and Joanne Brine, who are both... Oh, well, Michelle Banton, who with the help of Joanne Brine and Cindy Reimer founded this guild 30 years ago. And so I just wanted to call you guys out for getting everything started. And if all of our current and former members can just wave your hands, we've had over 100 people be part of this journey with us for the last 30 years. And you'll see a lot of their work exhibited here today. And another huge important thank you goes to the HCA, and I know Kelly Grill is hiding over there. Those of you who are quilters know that most of the quilt shows you go to are not in a space as beautiful as this. They're in a gym or whatever, and they're wonderful, but just the ability for us to hang this show here in this space elevates everybody's work, and we're so grateful to the HCA. We used to have our show in their little wonky, crooked farmhouse, and it had its own charm, but this space is absolutely spectacular. So we're extremely grateful, and we hope that you check out their programs. They're already busting out of this space, and it's pretty new. So they have tremendous programs here, and I hope you'll check those out. Okay, so I also want to thank Jack Fleming and the BAA for giving us permission to use their logos, and also for being here when you have a couple of other details you're managing, particularly at this time. And what we think is so special about the Boston Marathon is that this is really the only major world marathon where you could do a project like this, because they go in a loop, or they don't go through 8 separate towns, each with their own culture and their own history, and that's really what we're trying to represent. We also are really honored that our exhibit is included in the Runners Program this year. It may be at the expo if space becomes available, but it also is going to be featured on Channel 5 on Thursday in their primetime special. Doug Meehan came out and really spent a couple hours getting his nose all the way in that. So we're very, very honored by the recognition of our work. So thank you very much for that. And we also would not have had any of that happen if Kim and Tim from the 26.2 Foundation hadn't introduced this project to the BAA in the first place. They are the leaders of the 26.2 Foundation here in Hopkinton, and the driving force behind the future International Marathon Center, which will be in Hopkinton, and where this will live permanently. So now you have to build it, because we made the you have the artwork, so you have to build it. But really, we really thank you so much for championing this project. And last but nowhere near least, an idea is one thing and execution is another thing. And so we had 40 artists work on these panels in groups of 1 to a dozen. And they were each given some rules of the road to make sure that there was some cohesiveness to the project, but we also really tried not to limit creativity. And so you can see that they each had their own take on what they wanted to represent. And if you scan this QR code, you could read all about the techniques they used, the elements that they were representing, the history of the marathon culture in their town, and more information about their own town history. So if all of the panel artists can please wave your hand, do a dance, make yourself obvious. We're just incredibly proud of the caliber of work that came out of this simple idea. And we could never have done it by ourselves, so thank you so much for that. I also want to recognize the members of the Hopkinton Cultural Council. They often are supporters of our show. They gave us a portion of the seed money to start this project, so we were able to provide some of the materials to all of the different quilt groups, and we're very grateful to them for their support and happy to have them here today to see it. And I also just want to say thank you so much to Middlesex Savings Bank for sponsoring the show as well. So we may be at the end of my list of thank yous. So we all say thank you for that. But I wanted to also just call up a few people to make some short remarks, and I see that we have our local legislators here. So we have Susan Nickel from Karen Spilka's office, and James Arena DeRosa, who is our state rep. So if you guys want to come up and compliment us, whatever you want to do.
I can't wait to see the panel, so I don't want to talk too long. This is awesome. It's just so great to be here. I love this center. I love the things that happen here in Hopkinton. I'm so proud to be your state representative. I do have a citation that we can give you for celebrating 30 years and all the work that you do. And if maybe Susan could join us for a picture, that would be great.
Nancy, you want to
Someone want to hold?
Nancy, you should.
Yeah,
come
anyone else who you think should be part of it,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Nancy, here, we should go like this.
Open it up.
Get in the middle.
All right.
And we'll get one with, right there, to
Oh,
John.
Thank you.
feels like my wedding.
Now we'll do over here. Now do over here. So we all look that way now.
Thank you.
Thank
It's
you.
not your first day.
No, it's not his first day.
Oh, one more
sorry.
for, this is,
It's not Evelyn's first day either.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank
great to
you
see you. And I'm
so-
really looking forward to walking around, so.
Oh,
Thank
you.
you.
Done? Okay.
Yeah, would you like to say?
Sure, I'll just say real quickly. Some of you figured out I'm not Senate President Spilka, but I'm always so glad to be here representing her. This is not my first time to a quilt show in this space, and it's just so inspiring. But I will say, all of you who know Senate President Spilka, she is so proud that the marathon, half of it, we're just noticing the first 4 panels, the half of the marathon goes to her district. You can be at any unrelated event, and she could be talking about any unrelated topic, and she'll say, well, you know, half the marathon goes through my district, and the start line is in my district. But being here reminds me, so my mom for years and years had a license plate that said wall art, because she made, when she quit making quilts that went horizontally on beds, she started making ones that would be vertically on the wall, and it just reminds me that each of these tells such a story. And the story that you're telling here of each community and what makes each community special and the pride in that community, I've really never seen anything like this, and I'm so glad that you put this together, Jean.
And we know, we're very lucky to have such dedicated legislative leaders, and I know Karen, I think, had 31 invitations for tonight, so we understand that she can't be here, but I believe her sister is a quilter,
Her loss
so
is
she
my
might be
gain.
in trouble.
Oh,
so-
she is a quilter.
Yeah, exactly. And so I would also like to invite Jack Fleming, who is the president of the BAA, up to make a few remarks and just say, again, thank you so much for allowing us the opportunity to do this, and then we have a little gift for you, too.
Thank you. This is my first quilting exhibition. And it's not going to be my last, because I am truly amazed by this. I have such appreciation walking around in the last hour, seeing up close, but also stepping back, and it's just 2 different perspectives. This really is art, and this is a way of participating in the Boston Marathon. It's not just running or ambulating or volunteering or organizing. This kind of showing of support is truly humbling. You're right. When we talked, we were across the street with Tim about, 3 months ago, talking to the school department about something. And after the meeting, Tim stopped me in the parking lot and said, you know, Jack, I think that we have something here in Hopkinton. I'm downplaying because, Tim was the race director in the 1980s of the Boston Marathon, and he is so passionate about the town and about the event being so different. And you do have to step back once in a while, just like you step back from looking at and appreciating the quilting, to say, yeah, we have something here that nobody else in the world has. I'm very, very fortunate to be able to go to some of my peer competitor races, whether it be New York or Tokyo or Chicago, etc. And nobody has a Hopkinton. There is just nothing else, no other place in the world like Hopkinton. I worked, we were down the street stuffing bibs today, and we were in Framingham earlier with our public safety team. And I came back and I went for a run on the rail trail around the high school, the middle school, and I was, beautiful spring day. There is truly no other place in the world like Hopkinton, and I can't wait for us, not me, but for us to show the world what we have that no one else has. And they're coming in town already, and I hope those that are in town, arriving in Logan or Back Bay Station or South Station, make their way out to Hopkinton this weekend and see what you all have going on, because it is worth the drive. The other thing that I would say, and I don't mean to be long,
No, you're.
and I apologize, but I have my notes, but the problem is that my notes are on my hand, and I can't really read them because they've started to. But I happened to be at a small golf tournament in Georgia yesterday, and the day before that, something's going on. You could catch it on TV maybe Saturday and Sunday. I had to go for work, okay? No, I did have to go for work. I did have to go for work. And it's great, but you go in and it's very private. And you have to, you have a ticket, and you put down your cell phone, and there are some rules. Take off my hat. I learned I'm supposed to do that. But I came back to Boston, and with all due respect to that golf tournament, which you're talking about IP. I don't know if they think I can say the Masters, but I will. And thanks for the respect for our intellectual property. And we were we were extremely, first of all, in all seriousness, we were extremely happy to extend that to such a reputable organization. But thanks for being so respectful back for us. Getting back to the difference between, a big premier event and really the top of class event, I think, in our sport, is that we are public, right? We take place in the general public only if the public and if officials and if residents and if supporters and if the elected, et cetera, will permit us to do it. We don't exist without community. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your support of what we believe is a fantastic event that many people can rally behind and participate in, maybe in not so traditional kind of way. And you have really demonstrated that with your tribute to the event, but also to runners. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. What is this? Shall I open it?
Yes, you have to open it and see.
All right, let me do it quick. I love the color. It's in a quilting kit?
Yeah, it's a learn to sew. All right. If you flip it over, you can pull it out this way. This is what they call unboxing.
I don't know what this is.
I think it's all over YouTube. Okay.
I don't want to drop it.
Yeah, don't drop it. Oh, it's conveniently upside down. Okay. Yeah, I'll take
It is all of the quilts together in one. This is going to go in a very special place in the Boston Athletic Association. You know what? I think we're going to put it in the Hopkinton office. I was going to take it to the Boston office, but I think it's most appropriate for us to put in the 1 Ash Street office for everyone to see in a very public space.
Thank you.
Thank you. That is beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Do you do any other races? This is awesome.
We have a half marathon, a 10K, a 5K for anyone
How many more
interested.
quilts can we make? I also want to call up Tim Kilduff and Kim Chisholm from the 26.2 Foundation, who have really gotten us to this point. We would never be standing here without them, but I also, while they're coming up, want to point out all of the other quilts that are part of the special exhibit around the panels are related to what Tim preaches to us is the marathon footprint. And so I invite you to explore them later, but they're all tributes to different aspects of the marathon. There's one I see we have the artist here to represent all of the charity runners, and she has run for a cause that is near and dear to her heart for decades. And so there's a quilt over there honoring all of the charity work, but particularly the work that her charity has done. There's some other historical quilts, so I invite you to explore all of those afterwards. But Kim and Tim, if you want to come up and, okay, Tim, if you want to come up and say a word, that's great.
Jack, I was on the Common this afternoon and met a couple and their 2 daughters from New Zealand.
I saw you on the common,
Yeah, just,
looking out the window.
This is what happens. Just a couple of things. Thanks for giving me this little moment. Appreciate it. Jack referred to other marathons in the world, and I think we sometimes forget that the Boston Athletic Association essentially is in competition. There are other big marathons. Some have 50,000 runners and so forth. They're not quite built the same way this one is, because in addition to some of the wonderful things they do in the community, this is a race. And people have to qualify to get here. So that puts a little different spin on what we're doing. One of the mystiques, it's almost, I was thinking about this, it's almost magic. But one of the elements of magic for the Boston Marathon is in fact the course. And Jack referred to that. It is simply unique. I had the opportunity, Jean and Nancy invited me to one of the early sessions of the Quilters. I got to say, my head was spinning when I walked out. And I just very quietly said to myself, I can't even imagine how this is going to get put together. But that course, they've captured the elements of the course that 30,000 people are going to run through. And it's really spectacular. The other thing that they've helped to do is what the Boston Marathon the Boston Athletic Association gets a lot of credit for the fact they put on a world-class event. But I was thinking the other day, I think the most important thing that the BAA does is to create a platform from which memories are made. And it's not just memories for 30,000 runners. Think about the people they bring with them, the hundreds of thousands of people along the course. The memories that get created around the Boston Athletic Association to me is probably the most heartfelt aspect of the event. It's really spectacular. So the Quilters, you said 40 or so, you captured something that most people, they'll experience when they're on the course, but you've captured something that really will go down in the annals as another opportunity to create memories. So for that, those of us who have been involved in the race for a while and have great appreciation for it, have appreciation for what you've created. So very, thank you for sharing your talent. And you, in fact, have created memories that are going to be added on to 130 years of Boston Marathon history. So thank you.
And so the quilt, after it's done here, it actually will be on display this summer at the New England Quilt Museum, and ultimately will live at the International Marathon Center as soon as they hurry up and build it in Hopkinton. But since there's a gap, Jack, I could put in a good word with Tim if you want to put it up in the BAA offices. That's better than in my basement, so maybe it can hang there.
You know, have you,
So-
I think 1 Ash Street,
Yeah, that's what I meant. So if you're really nice to him, maybe
Well,
he'll
you know
loan
what
it to
they say,
you.
possession is 9/10 the law.
All right, and last but not at all least, I would like to ask Joe Clark, who is the chair of the Hopkinton Board of Selectmen, without whom we would not be having a marathon in this town either, to come up and just say a few words, and then you guys are welcome to enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks, Jean. We actually got a sneak peek of this, a month and a half ago, and it really just does not do it justice when you see it all put together. And the first thing that comes to mind is I just, on behalf of the town, couldn't be more thankful for all of this, for obviously Jean and Nancy, the whole Quilt Guild, our friends at the BAA, the 26.2. And I think for our town, our small town, the marathon represents like our one big day of the year. And it's really half a day, right, for all those that know. People come and go pretty quickly that morning. But you know, to me, I'm always reminded that so much more goes into it. It's really year-round that people invest their time, and most of the time is volunteer work. I think about the marathon committee here in town, and, you know, Hopkinton could not host the marathon without all of that effort. So just, I could not be more thankful to the Quilters, everyone here, and everyone that contributes to our, you know, our big day in this small town. So thank you all so much.
I always wonder, at what age do kids who grow up in Hopkinton realize everybody doesn't grow up in a town where an international sporting event takes place every year? It brings an incredible amount of depth and richness to the town through the schools and the community, the arts, everything. So what we really wanted to do, we wanted this to be a collaborative community experience to spread the experience of the Boston Marathon, and we hope that that's what we've done. We really, really appreciate you guys being here. Please enjoy the quilts. There is so much more beautiful work that we haven't even talked about that you can explore, but the rules of the road are no touching, no eating food or spilling wine or water even, whatever, but, and we're around to answer any questions that you might have, so I'm gonna really stop. Thank you, thank you, thank you.